Welcome. Just want to make sure before I say too much that everyone can hear me. We usually have a slight delay. So first off, I'll state the obvious. I'm not Jeff. Thank you, Van. Ahoy! Hello to Elise as well, and Gabrielle, Marina, John, Fred, Kathy, Cashew, Ben. Is Ben Malone here? No, I don't see Ben yet. Angie. It is so great to see you. I am not Jeff. There are lots of people in the world, not Jeff. There's only one Jeff, or only one Jeff Warren, I should say. And I'm filling in. So if you are new, greetings from Tucson. I am broadcasting live from Tucson. So Disturbed Pony Girl, hello. There's Cashew. Sandra, hello as well. Ruth, hello. Let's see. I didn't see Richard yet. Richard lives in the future. I am, again, happy to be a guest host. Again, really appreciate that. Jeff is just finishing up a retreat in California. Just heard from him. He's in the car, I think, headed toward an airport, or at least in some transit of some sort. So that's why I'm here. And again, we've had lots of new folks. So we want to remind you at the beginning, the Do Nothing Project, the important aspect of it is to keep your expectations low, very, very low. So we're not going to do a whole lot of anything, which is really kind of what we want to do. And I have a practice. I have a little bit of framing around practice. We'll do that together. That's where we're headed. We'll be doing 25 minutes. We'll finish with a friendliness practice in the last 5 to 6 minutes. And then we'll hang around a little bit to get some reports. I'll offer some responses. And if you have questions, you can always ask those too. So that's where we're headed. And again, and this being January 23rd, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. This is the theme. I think I mentioned this. I don't know how well with my lights and everything you can see this. But this is a book by an author named J. Matthews, is one way the author's name appears. It's also J. Jennifer Matthews. They're a counselor and a meditation teacher in the Boston area, and it is called Radically Condensed Instructions for Being Just As You Are. And so what I've done is shortened for our theme tonight is being just as you are. You could also say that word just maybe is extra. You'll hear, at least in Zen, I'm a lay Zen student, you'll hear just sitting or just eating or just walking. And so we think about that's pointing in one sort of direction. It's actually, in essence, one way of emphatically being there is sitting, or there is walking, or there is eating. So what we're going to look at is being. And how are we being? Just as you are. So meditation courses or the term meditation course sometimes flips us into this idea that you're being graded. So you don't want to get a bad grade. Even if I tell you to look at taking a course as pass fail, we're even in a trap there with the idea of pass fail. So it is, so someone's saying, can you hold it closer? Thank you for that, John. So, and again, this isn't an affiliate link or anything. I just think it's a fantastic book. And then it's not a Zen book, but it is razor thin. And I love razor thin books. So yeah, that is the book. Again, Radically Condensed Instructions for Being Just As You Are. So I was talking about this idea of when we are meditating, sometimes we're looking at the approach as though we're being graded. Tonight we're going to, and always in all of the Do Nothing Project, there's nothing to correct, right? So we're looking at our experience as it is, in essence, offering us an opportunity when we sit still to orient to how things are going, not necessarily to make anything happen. And so I love that aspect of this being just as you are. So not to steal the conclusion, but I wanted to just quickly say that I love this line. Experience happens as experiencing awareness. So this idea that awareness is aware of itself is another little nugget. And I don't know that I can really explain that totally, but I love this notion of just being aware of what's going on. We don't need to add anything, but we can sit still and in that stillness be okay with kind of what's going on. Can like hang out with the R-ness of what's going on. Thich Nhat Hanh passed away. I think he had a line that I always loved about this like inter-R, that like when we look at co-arising and some of the other Buddhist teachings, there's like an inter-R to like the interbeing of things. Anyway, thoughts, lots of things. When I started this, I said, I'm going to say something very, very thin, and then I'm just going to start the meditation. And that's not totally what's happened. So, but that's where we're headed. So we can say in essence that we're just looking at a more or less what is in the unified mindfulness system, do nothing sit. So I know we've got a number of folks that are new, so I just want to offer a little bit of a predict and prepare. In the system, and this is also borrowed from a phonetic device or an acronym that Shinzen Young uses. It's called ION, Interest, Opportunity, and Necessity. So in the guidance tonight, I'm going to offer a lot of open, large spaces for you to be as you are. If that's not supporting you, so we could say out of necessity, the N in ION, if that's not supporting you, you can take your decision and switch into a practice that might be more supportive. So if that's using the sounds around you or following the breath or using a mantra, switch over to that, no issue. So just want to offer that as a quick predict and prepare kind of moment. All right. Check the chat. I don't know if we have anyone moderating tonight. So if anything goes awry, I will try to keep an eye on that. I've got my glasses on, so I won't have to squint too much. And actually, depending on the layout. All right, not ring the bell too loud. And then just a quick, as we always, at the start of this, we do a little bit of a preamble. A lot of folks are a lot of folks are here for the community aspect, for chat, for the support that's offered. Everything I offer from guidance is an invitation. You can totally do your own practice. No issue with that. All right, we've got 25 minutes on the clock. And all right, thank you, Joanne. Yeah, I don't see anything pressing, so hopefully everything is a-okay. All right. Prepare to be R. So let's begin. So as we start out, you can have your eyes open or closed, your choice. And those of you who've sat with me before know I like to use a little not a mantra, I guess, but a little bit of an acronym, PTC, posture, tension, calm, as my start out. So I check in with my posture. I want to adopt a posture that will help me be both relaxed and alert, one that will help me foster stillness, but one that is still comfortable. So that is often upright, allowing my shoulders to drop. And then throughout the sit, I'll check in with my posture just to see where I'm at. Moving on to the T, we're looking just to see if there's any tension in the body. We're not fixing anything, we're just checking out and seeing if tension exists before we begin. I like to see if there's any tension around the eyes, the jaw, the neck. Just bringing my attention there. Again, not making anything happen. Just seeing if there's tension. And as we're at the end of the day, you may find tension in your shoulders or maybe tension in the back. Sometimes the sheer act of bringing your attention there will cause it to release. And if it doesn't, this is your first opportunity to bring an attitude of no big deal, allowing it to be as it is. And then the last thing is some calming breaths. I saw some people note in the chat. Those breaths, we breathe in slow, allowing us to breathe low into the belly. Breathing in slow through the nose, allowing the belly to expand. And pausing and exhaling, either through the mouth or the nose, your choice. Either way, though, seeing if you can extend, draw that breath out of it. Breathing in again, allowing the breath to escape and extend. And then letting go of any control of the breath, allowing it to be natural. And as I said at the beginning, if you have your own practice, please go ahead and follow that practice. And this is the point we normally mark as being a spot you can come back to. So just sort of hanging out. And for our sit tonight, you could say the trailhead is the destination. So right here at the beginning, this is where we want to be pretty much our whole sit, if possible. Again, nothing to correct. Allowing ourselves to sit and know that we're sitting. We may be drawn to sounds around us, sounds from my environment, sounds from your environment. Allowing those to mix. Let the attention go wherever it wants. So I'll allow you to hang out here in the R that is your reality at the moment and just be. I'll check in a little bit. So as you sit, noises could be intruders if you let them be, or you can let them mix in with what's going on, or you can begin with them feeling like intruders, and then as they persist, see if you can transform it into just more sounds. As we sit and just be, the noises become part of us being here. And if we're annoyed, being annoyed becomes what is part of us being here. So just see if you can be a wide aperture, allowing and welcoming sounds around you, sensations. We'll check back in a few minutes. And just a reminder, if your mind feels particularly busy or thoughts are sort of rapidly being generated, check in and see what your posture's like. It may not always be the case, but I often find that when I'm slumping to a side or I'm letting my back round out, that's a bit of an indicator to me as maybe why my attention is not as sharp. Keep going. In the beginning, we talked a bit about seeing if we can be still. And so when I offer that as a cue, I don't mean to be rigid, but this is the part of the sit where you may find it's more difficult to stay still. So if you need to move, totally move. You can think of that as a compassionate action or self-compassion. And then after you move, see if you can settle back into stillness. The opportunity to sit and just be still is so underrated for me. It's such a important part of my practice. So it may not be true for everyone, but if I can be relaxed about it and still foster it, I find it very beneficial. Good. So if you've sat with me in the past, I think I've done this practice a few times. It's a little bit of a variation on a friendliness or connection practice, but it's about bringing to mind benefactors, people who have contributed to you being here in this moment, listening to me talk. The people who've contributed to that, if you can see, if you're a visual person, bringing them to mind, and maybe even more than one person comes to mind. So many have contributed to me sitting here now, guiding you. Seeing if one of them is particularly prominent or standing out to you. And then offering some form of thanks to them. I'll suggest some phrases so we can turn this a little bit like a metta or loving kindness. You can use your own if it fits better. Bringing that person to mind. Thank you for being part of my journey. Thank you for being here now. And then bringing to mind another individual, someone who maybe contributed through books or maybe just suggesting something to you, suggesting a podcast, just the smallest of things. Seeing if you can visualize their face, maybe even hear their voice. And then offering some form of gratitude. Thank you for being part of my journey. Thank you for being here now. And of course, teachers come to mind, great and small. Again, seeing if we can bring a vivid picture. And if visuals don't work for you, seeing if you can bring some aspect of sound or even a felt sense of their presence. Offering gratitude. Thank you. I appreciate all you've done. Thank you for being here now. And some names that, or some individuals that come to mind, maybe direct ones that you've met or spoken with, or maybe even folks who've lived a long time ago, 800 or more years. Seeing how the teachings and the connections reach all the way out to you here at this moment, or set you on this path that brought you here. Offering your gratitude. Acknowledging how amazing it is to have someone reach across time and contribute to you here and now. and bringing all of those faces together, even including the people that maybe contributed by not being supportive, whose comments maybe spurred you on, the people you may have been proving wrong. Thank you. Thank you for helping me on my journey. Thank you for being here now. And then finally, expanding our gratitude to everyone in the community. Heck, everyone at YouTube. Everyone that contributes to YouTube functioning, to this all working. Thank you. Thank you for being part of my journey. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for everyone sticking it out. I know it sounds like Kim reported that there was a little more background noise than I had expected with my mic. My mic usually filters out a lot of background noise. So thank you for that. And, oh, interesting. Okay. So, Jeff will be here next week. And I think, one second. I'm just going to moderate while I'm doing this really quick. Cool. I feel funny thanking YouTube because they're this super large corporation and everything, but I really do. I think about everything that all the things that contribute to us being here. So, oh, thank you, Brooke. Yeah, the trailhead is the destination. That occurred to me earlier today, and I thought I was stealing it from someone. I liked it so much. So, yeah. Yeah, and then I think you probably can't really be part of the wider meditation community and not know about the passing of Thich Nhat Hanh. So the benefactor meditation for me is one of the things I really like about trying to connect to everything that brings you here. The interdependence of all of that is pretty wild. So I really do like to bring that into my sits, especially at the end of a sit. I find it really helpful. Oh, wow. Okay, so Heather and Angie, you like that as well? Stroke of genius. Stephen Pressfield would call that a gift from the muse. So, yeah, sorry about that, Anne. So I realize I'm leaning on technology to try to filter some of my sounds out, and I welcome some of the noise as a way for me to flex my equanimity. And I realize that I'm imposing some of that noise on you, but I'm creating opportunities maybe. So that's an interesting aspect. Oh, welcome, Chris K. Thank you for joining us the first time. Jeff will be back, I promise. You'll be in the amazing hands of Jeff next weekend. Again, this was one of Jeff's meditation retreats out here in or just to the west of where I am in Tucson. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I think I normally do something around, folks will ask about supporting the Do Nothing Project, and I usually post something about if you want to support the Do Nothing Project. A great way to do that would be to go to cecmeditate.com/support-us, and contributions to there are greatly appreciated by the Do Nothing Project. Again, the Consciousness Explorers Club is something that Jeff co-founded a little over 10 years ago now. And then the other aspect, oh, great. Patty also joining for the first time. I'm so delighted that you enjoyed that. Yes, Kathy, welcome to the party is a great tool. I almost did a meditation called Shopkeeper around the idea of being a shopkeeper who's just sort of kind of quietly nodding to people as they come and go from the small town shop, with very heavily influenced on Welcome to the Party. This idea of bringing in whatever is going on, welcome to the party. And it's great. Welcome to the Party, by the way, is available on the Meditations tab at jeffwarren.org. So you can go to jeffwarren.org and that will work out perfect. There are a number of meditations there. If you haven't checked that out, totally recommend that you do that. The website also has previous posts from the newsletter. So if you can go check that out, that would be great as well. And then last plug would be, and then I should see if I didn't see any questions. So I'll pause in a second. But the last thing that in order of business, if you will, is explorers.fm is the Consciousness Explorers podcast. I have been calling it a podcast as workbook or activity workbook, where Jeff and Tasha, who's been on and been a guest guide and a guest host in the past, will have someone on the podcast. That person will guide Tasha and Jeff in the practice, and then they'll do a debrief about how that was for them. That's very, very interactive. I think it's a cool thing. You should check it out. I'm not sure who else is coming on season 1, but the latest season 1 podcast should be released, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday. So 7A Selassie's episode was up. John Pendergrass, I think, was the last one. Yeah. And so we're seeing some love in the podcast. Long time Do Nothing Project folks will know Tasha also and Jeff did kind of a variation, a pilot of the podcast on the actual live stream a couple times. So that was cool as well. So yeah, I think that's everything. I did say that if you had questions, I would offer responses. Being a meditation coach, I will leave it to you if anything I say is actually an answer. But if there are anything that came up from the guidance tonight, totally open to that. I really appreciate the feedback on, and Tamara, also first time here, great. And then we did mention this last time, but the chat has gotten to be very lively, which we love. But it also means that the person who's sitting in this spot right now, it's difficult sometimes for us to track what's going on. And without a moderator tonight, it's harder for me the moderating position will often bubble up questions for that. So if I missed anybody, you can always go to jeffwarren.org, and there is a contact form there, I believe. So yeah, we did it. We got another episode another edition of the Do Nothing Project under our collective belts. Oh yeah, okay. So first time, I forgot a bunch of first time folks. Again, I'm not the normal person here. Again, huge amount of gratitude to Lily, Lynn, Jeff, and everyone involved, the entire community. I really appreciate folks coming in and sitting. I think this is the most people that have been on the live stream for my guidance, so that's a cool thing too. So yeah, And I'm going to use the trailhead as the destination in something. I don't know what yet, but I will definitely use it in a queue again. So I appreciate the feedback on that. All right. Have a great week. Oh, so, okay. Lots of first time folks. Well, welcome. I will be in chat next time. You'll see my name in the blue font with a little wrench because I can try to fix things. The moderators get a wrench. So, all right. Well, again, have a great week.